So sometimes I feel like I miss sports. Not sports in and of itself, but a plethora of sports, a huge choice of sports that I can choose to watch or not watch. Back in the States, I felt like there was always something to watch. There was always a sport that I can dive into and enjoy watching from time to time. We also had sports bars where you can just go in and there's always some kind of game playing and you can have your hot wings or whatever while you watch a sport. Often it didn't even matter what sport it was as long as you're watching some kind of competition. Things like that can be really enjoying. So here in Germany, for the longest time, I've only known football, soccer, to be the sport here, like the sport, and nothing else. So in the off season, or when I just get tired of watching it, I'll sometimes find a rugby game or something going on at some point, but I don't really get that satisfaction of having like all kinds of sports to choose from that I can watch. Well, apparently I was wrong. I must have been looking in the wrong places because Germany actually has a lot of sports. What's going on, everybody out there? I'm Christopher and I'm back with another video. I appreciate you guys viewing the content. The only thing that I ask and appreciate is that you like the video. So without wasting too much time talking, I'm gonna get into this thing where I found Germany actually has a plethora of sports. Now, I think a difference between the States and here is when it comes to sports is the States kind of glorifies sports a little more than Germany would or does. And like I mentioned, like we have sports bars where you can just go in, have a snack or have a meal and watch sports. It doesn't matter what it is, from football, basketball, baseball, soccer, tennis, golf, bowling, and all of that, all the way up to like Olympic games and things like that. There's just always sports playing in these venues. But I was wrong in thinking Germany didn't have sports. Let's take a look. Okay, so top 10 sports in Germany. I haven't seen this yet either. I wanted to be just as surprised as you guys are seeing it for the first time. All right, here we go. Top 10 sports in Germany. Are you interested in which kind of sports the Germans love most? Well, you should be, as in our experience talking about sports is the easy way to start a conversation with the German. What? How did I not know this? As much as I go to the guest houses and things like that, nobody ever talks about sports. Of course, Germans are known for their love of football, but you will be surprised how many other sports we like to practice and watch on TV. So in order to strike an interesting conversation, you should have the basic knowledge, which is a quick explanation of the sport, the most famous German who practices the sport, and which is the most memorable moment in history. So without further ado, let's deep dive. All right, number one, foosball. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Like, did they? Okay. Football is without the slightest doubt the most famous sport in Germany. To give you a better idea about how massive the influence of football is here in Germany, let's have a look at the National Football Association called the DFB, the Deutsche Fußball-Bund. The DFB is roughly 7 million members, the single largest sports federation worldwide. The most famous German football player, this is a tough one, as Germany has had many great footballers. Before I show this, put down in the comments who y'all think the most famous German footballer is. I'm going to check to see who got this right. Don't be trying to cheat. Don't wait until I show it. Go down there and put it in right now. Probably the most famous German football star of all times will be Franz Beckenbauer. Did you get it right? Don't lie. Did you? He was very successful as a player and as a manager of the German National Mannschaft. Actually, he is the only German footballer who won the World Cup both as a player and as a manager. So number one, football. Let's see. Number two, golf. Who would have thought the Germans play golf? Now, I know that sounds a little closed-minded, but where would they play golf at? Like, I never see a golf course. Even when I go on the American installations, there's golf courses and you can spot them. I don't ever see a golf course here in Germany. Unfortunately, golf still is a sport in Germany that only people with a lot of money seem to practice. Oh, okay. I got it. Most famous German golfer, probably Martin Kaymer, the most famous German golf player. Ice hockey. Many people say there is no other sport in Germany where the fans in the stadium make more noise and party than at an ice hockey game. Where are the teams at? When do they play? I don't see this stuff. That's crazy. Most famous German ice hockey player, Uwe Krupp, is one of the few players that made their way successfully to the NHL. Oh, never heard of the Uwe Krupp. Have you heard of the St. Louis Blues? You better. Without a doubt, the biggest surprise in the history of German ice hockey was the win of the silver medal at the 2018 Winter Olympics. They beat Canada? Nice. Y'all know Canada is like hockey. Number 4, basketball. I can maybe understand this one, but still, are there teams? Do they play at any point? Thanks to Detlef Schrempf and especially Dirk Nowitzki, 2 very successful basketball players in the NBA, basketball is a very famous sport in Germany as well. Quickly dubbed the German Wunderkind, oh my gosh, the German Wonder Kid, Dirk Nowitzki won the NBA championship in 2011. Oh, well, good for him. He brought an NBA championship ring back to Deutschland. Awesome. All right, number 5, Formula One racing. Now I can admit I have seen some racing conversations going on. Didn't consider that before I said what I said, but I have seen some racing stuff going on. I just didn't know it was as big as they're saying it is. Michael Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel, these 2 fantastic racers were single-handedly responsible for the big hype there was around Formula One back in the days. Nice. Both Schumacher and Vettel were so successful drivers that for years they dominated the sport and made millions of Germans very proud to watch the races on Sunday afternoons at home. Nice. Handball. I don't even know what that is. Handball is another famous sport in Germany. Interestingly enough, it seems that especially in smaller cities where no major football team attracts the crowds, handball is very famous and the teams from smaller cities are very successful. Okay, handball. I have to look that up. I don't know how you play handball. Most memorable moment in German handball history was in 2007 when a German handball national team won the World Cup for the 8th time. There's a World Cup of handball. You didn't know that. Stop acting like you did. Stop it. Number 7, tennis. Boris Becker and Steffi Graf, similar to our Formula One heroes, these 2 players were responsible for the big hype around tennis in the 90s in Germany. While Boris Becker was the youngest player to ever win the title in Wimbledon, Steffi Graf was on the top spot of female tennis players for years. Nowadays, tennis is still a very popular sport for Germans to practice. I didn't know. That's cool though. That's cool. I wish there was a place that was similar to sports bars in the States where you can just go sit, chill, hang out, watch sports, have a snack, drink a beer, and enjoy sports. Or maybe there is and I just don't get out enough. Number 8, skiing. Okay, I can see that. Similar to tennis, skiing is a sport that the Germans love to practice themselves rather than watching it on TV. Oh, very nice. Every winter, the roads towards the Alps are blocked with people spending their winter holidays skiing in the Alps. I want to get out there one day. But if you are not in the south of Germany, there are other skiing destinations like Harz. But don't expect too much as the mountains there are max around 1,000 meters high. Most famous German ski star, Markus Wasmir. Number 9, cycling. Contrary to tennis or skiing, cycling is a sport that Germans used to love to watch on Sunday afternoon on TV. We honestly know not a single cyclist who practices this as a serious sport. But also cycling on TV has lost a lot of fans as the biggest German cyclists, Eric Zabel or Jan Ullrich, both have been connected to doping in the past. Was machst du? Well, that's unfortunate. Don't be doing the druggos. What are you partaking in the druggos for? Get off the druggos, bro. Number 10, boxing. I would love to see some boxing. Henry Maska and the Klitschkos, these great boxers, even though the Klitschkos were not born in Germany, made boxing a very popular sport in Germany. Each boxing event brought in thousands of people into the stadiums and millions of viewers in front of their TVs. Even though the golden times of Henry Maska are over, boxing nowadays still is a very popular sport in Germany, thanks to the Klitschkos. Most famous German boxer, naturally, Henry Maska, and then Max Schmeling. But we will pick Henry Maska as he made boxing insanely famous during the 90s and is still known as the gentleman thanks to his sportsmanship. Well, I was wrong. I guess there are sports here in Germany. That was 10 good ones right there. I don't have cable, so I don't know if they broadcast this stuff, and there are no sports bars in my area, so I would not know that these sports are played. But it sure would be nice to be able to see them, enjoy them, like watch a little contact or a little competition every now and then. So even if they are here, it's not enough of it. There needs to be more. You want to know what sport most people I know follow and keep track of? Wrestling. No, I like wrestling. But is wrestling real?